Being kicked out at 17 for your perfect sister is traumatic. Walking into her wedding with a lawyer and a folder proving she stole your college fund, forged your signature, and committed identity theft? That's justice 20 years in the making. I'm Olivia Bennett, 37 years old. Last Saturday was my sister Grace's wedding. Beautiful venue, 300 guests. My parents paid $80,000 for it. The daughter they chose, the perfect one, the one they kept. I wasn't invited, obviously. Haven't spoken to my family in 20 years, since they kicked me out at 17, told me to leave, make room for Grace. She has potential, you're just difficult. But I showed up anyway, with my lawyer, Patricia, and a folder containing 20 years of evidence. Bank fraud, identity theft, forged signatures, tax evasion, all committed by Grace, all documented, all prosecutable. I walked up to the microphone during the toasts. 300 people are watching, smiled at Grace, said, "I have something to share. About my sister, about truth, about crimes she's committed for 20 years, while our parents praised her perfection." Then I opened the folder and destroyed everything. This is the story of how documentation defeated the golden child. Before I tell you what was in that folder, before you hear what crimes Grace committed, hit like now. Comment on your city. This is about the scapegoat exposing the golden child with evidence. Growing up, Bennett meant one thing. Grace was perfect, I was the problem. Childhood. Grace got piano lessons, dance, gymnastics, and tutoring, $30,000 annually on her activities. I got library books. We can't afford lessons for both. Grace is naturally talented. You're not. Teenage years. Grace got a car at 16, Mercedes, $45,000. I got nothing. Grace needs reliable transportation. She has a future. You can take the bus. Grace's room, redecorated 3 times, $15,000 total. My room, same furniture from childhood. Grace deserves a space that reflects her potential. College planning. My parents established college funds. Grace's, $150,000. Mine, $50,000. We invested more in Grace. She'll go somewhere prestigious. You'll figure it out. The breaking point, age 17. Grace announced she needed my bedroom, bigger room, better light, for studying, for her future. My parents agreed. "Olivia, you need to move to the basement. Grace needs your room." I said no. It was my room. I'd lived there for 17 years. My father said, "This house is ours. Grace is our priority. You move to the basement or you leave." I said, "That's not fair." My mother said, "Life isn't fair. Grace has potential, a future. You're difficult, unmotivated, taking up the space Grace needs. Move or leave." I left. 17 years old, kicked out, homeless, because my sister wanted my bedroom. Lived with friends, finished high school, got into a state university on scholarships and loans, built a life, alone. My family never called, never apologized, never cared. Grace got my bedroom, got her Mercedes, got her $150,000 college fund, got Stanford, got everything. Or so I thought. 5 years ago, I got a letter from the IRS, Notice of Unpaid Taxes, account in your name, Social Security number, mine, amount owed $47,000. I'd never owed taxes, always filed, always paid. This made no sense. I called the IRS. There's a mistake. I don't owe $47,000. They said, "According to our records, you earned $180,000 in 2018, filed joint return with spouse, claimed deductions, underpaid by $47,000. I said, I earned $65,000 in 2018. I'm not married. I didn't file a joint return. They sent me copies. Tax return filed under my name, my social security number, joint return with spouse listed as David Bennett, my father's name. Income, $180,000. Source, Bennett Family Trust disbursement. I'd never received trust money, never filed a joint return. This was fraud. I hired a forensic accountant, said, find out what this is, who filed this, where the money went. She investigated, found everything. Discovery 1, the college fund. My $50,000 college fund, established when I was born, should have been available when I turned 18, should have paid for a state university. It was empty. Empty, withdrawn in 2003, the year I started college, the year I took $60,000 in student loans because my fund was gone. The withdrawal signature? Olivia Bennett, my name. But that's not my signature. Forged. The money? Transferred to Grace's account, all $50,000, doubling her fund to $200,000 total. Grace forged my signature, stole my college fund, used it for Stanford, while I took loans for a state school. Discovery 2. The trust distributions. My grandmother died in 2015, left a trust, $500,000 total, split equally between her grandchildren, Grace and I, $250,000 each. I never received anything, assumed I wasn't included. The scapegoat never gets included. Wrong. The trust listed me $250,000 to Olivia Bennett, distributed in 2016, to a bank account in my name that I didn't open, using my social security number that I didn't authorize. Grace opened a bank account in my name using identity theft, collected my $250,000 inheritance, forged my signature on deposit slips, and kept everything. Discovery 3. The tax fraud. Grace filed fake tax returns under my name, joint returns with our father, claiming trust money as income, creating $47,000 in IRS debt in my name with my Social Security, creating IRS debt I didn't owe. All to obscure the fact that she'd stolen $250,000 from me. Total crimes: forged signature, college fund; identity theft, bank account, tax returns; tax fraud, $47,000 false debt; wire fraud, trust money; theft, $300,000 total, $50K college plus $250K trust, all documented, all provable, all felonies. I compiled everything, hired a lawyer, Patricia Morrison. I want to prosecute criminally and civilly. I want everything. She reviewed the evidence. This is airtight. Multiple felonies. We can destroy her legally. Then I learned about the wedding. Grace's perfect wedding. $80,000. Paid by my parents, the daughter they chose. I decided I'd give her a wedding gift. The truth, with witnesses. Last Saturday, Grace's wedding, elite country club, 300 guests. My parents spared no expense. The perfect day for the perfect daughter. I wasn't invited, hadn't spoken to my family in 20 years. They probably forgot I existed. I arrived anyway, with Patricia, professional dress, confident, carrying a leather folder. Security stopped us. Names, please. I said, Olivia Bennett, the bride's sister, +1. They checked the list. You're not on the guest list. I said, I'm family. Check with the bride's parents. I'm sure they want me here. They called my mother. She came to the entrance, saw me, went white. Olivia, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here for my sister's wedding, to give her a gift. Is that a problem? She stammered, You weren't invited. I said, I'm family. You kicked me out at 17, but I'm still family. I have something Grace needs to hear. I'll make a scene out here. She let us in, afraid of scandal, afraid of guests seeing a confrontation. The ceremony happened. Grace married her wealthy fiancé, beautiful, perfect, everything she'd ever wanted. The reception started, dinner served, then toasts. Best man, maid of honor, sweet stories, laughter, joy. Then I stood up, walked to the microphone, uninvited, unexpected. The MC tried to stop me. "Excuse me, the toast list is—" I said, "I'm the bride's sister. I have something to say." Grace saw me, went pale, tried to stand. My mother grabbed her arm. "Stay calm. Don't make a scene." I began. "Hi, everyone. I'm Olivia, Grace's sister. We haven't spoken in 20 years, since our parents kicked me out at 17, told me to leave, make room for the perfect daughter." Murmurs from the crowd, confused looks. But I'm not here to rehash the past.